Hi, Errol. Thank you for meeting with me today. I don't know if anything I have here will interest you, but I'm going to go through it and see if there's something that we can get together with. Um, we um, we do to help you with things in such areas as like increasing cash flow, decreasing debts, reducing taxes, and also we specialize in life insurance and annuities that help you shave years off your date of retirement. Okay, now when we get done with this, if there's something that interests you, we'll I'll ask you a few questions. We'll get back together and we'll see if whatever specifics that will help you. And right now, there's no money for us today, so sit back and relax and let me tell you about Federal Financial Group. Federal Financial Group is a group of insurance companies and financial institutions that have $1 billion in assets and have been around for 100 years. We specialize in one thing, to help people become financially independent. Uh, so, what we mean is that the interest that you're earning on your money now may get to replace what you actually earn in your business or your salary. At this point, you don't have to work anymore. You can, but you don't have to, because the interest you're learning on these earning on these investments are out earning what you're getting now. Would you like to know how to get there sooner? That's where I'm headed. What I want to do is touch on some of the issues that challenge us and face us today. Um, in the last 10 years, the market has been very volatile. Yes, our wages have increased, but so has inflation. Price of mortgages, interest, gas, groceries, all have increased. So, people are using their credit card, getting deeper and deeper in debt, and so we're trying to, we need to get them out. All right, if 100 people were to retire today at 65, how many do you think would be financially independent? And financially independent means making over 35,000 a month. I mean, 35,000 a year. How many do you think would be financially independent? You know that that's a great guess, but you know what the figure's actually for? Really? All right. So what do the other 96 do? They live with their family, they live on welfare, or they still work. And you've seen them. They're still working at Walmart. No, actually, the other day I was at a Walmart in Caldwell, Idaho. Nice looking, beautiful white haired man was standing in front of me, and he slowly bent down and scraped price tags off the floor where people would take the price tags off if they went out and dropped them on the floor. He was scraping it off the floor. Now, that really isn't something I wanted to do when I'm 65. So, what Federal Financial does is we have 7 areas where we intertwine them together, and they work pretty much together, and trying to eliminate that and to get you to financial independence faster. So, step 1 is inspect what you expect. Now, if you don't know what you're spending, how do you know what you need? I mean, you know what the utilities are and the rent is, but how much are you spending for coffee and cigarettes and gum and all that other stuff? Because if I budget you for $2,000 a month for that kind of stuff, and you're spending $3, somehow this budget isn't going to work. So let's find out what you're spending for each one of these so we can make it work for you. Now, the next one is, step 2, is to increase your cash flow. What do you think cash flow is? Okay. Cash flow is actually what's left over after you pay your bills. So, you have this much income, you have this much debt, and what's left after that is cash flow. And that's what you have to spend. All right. So, one of the ways we get increased cash flow is when you look at what your tax refund was for last year. Did you get one or did you have to pay? If you got one, then we can take some of that money you got refunded that you paid Uncle Sam all year to work on your money without any interest. And we can put in your paycheck and you can give to me and I can give you 10%. Are you farther ahead? Yes, certainly you are. But that's cash flow. All right. The third step is to eliminate debt. And over here we have a list of this person's debt, and the bottom one, the smallest bill, is $100 a month. Okay, when you pay that off, you take that $100 and put on the second one and make that $238 a month. This shows that you pay this off 13 and a half years before you would have paid off if you just paid the minimum. Saved you a lot of interest, didn't it? All right, but between each one of these, I want you to celebrate. I want you to take your wife out for dinner or go golfing or something. Whether it's just to celebrate, I don't care. But have get yourself out of debt. Paying off your debt is a big thing. So, number 4 is to start an emergency fund. Emergency fund is very, very important. Emergency fund pays for the transmission, the carburetor, the refrigerator, the washer and dryer that goes out. You need those things, and they don't need to come out of your monthly budget. So we need to put money back each month. It needs to be liquid. It needs to be available. It needs to make more interest than your checking account, and it needs to be automatic and systematic, so it's always going to be there. Okay? So you need to put it in the money market. An emergency fund, let me tell you what else it does. You take your little girl to the hospital, Errol, and they want $500 before they'll even take her to the emergency room. You don't have $500 because you didn't do the emergency fund. What's important to you? All right, that's what the emergency fund is for. Not for the pizza you ordered tonight, for the kids. That is not an emergency fund. If you don't have money for that pizza, you shouldn't order it. All right. Number 5 is protect what you have. All right. Nice young family of 5. Wonderful. Wife doesn't work. All of a sudden, you're out of the picture. Who pays the mortgage? Who pays the utilities? Who pays for food? Who pays the doctor bills? Life insurance pays for a lot. And nowadays, life insurance is paying for things before you actually die. They're giving families money beforehand. Now, I have a friend of mine's son was coming home from work one day and had an aneurysm. Ran into a tree, was in a coma for 2 years. If his family didn't have insurance, they're either in a rescue mission or they're living on a bridge. Where would you like your family to be? All right. 6th one. This is the greatest one of all. This is what people like most. And you know, this is long-term financial independence, long-term income, long-term cash. This is where we make your dreams come true. So, do you know the rule of 72? All right, I'm going to put 72 up here. If you had 4% interest, it would take you 18 years for your money to double. So let's just do $100, 18 years, $200, another 18 years, $400, another 18 years, $800. So we have 54 years. So if I increase this to 12%, so in 6 years I have $200, $400 and 12, 18, 16, 32, 64 in 36 years. All right. So here you had 4, here you have 640. All right, I'll show you another little scenario here. Here is 4%. Took $10,000, and at 4%, by the time you're 65, you got $40,000. All right, say if you're 65, you have $40,000, your kids are grown, your house is paid off. How long could you live on $40,000? Not very long. Not the way you spend. All right. And when financially secured is what, $32,000? Is that what I said? That's a little over a year there. All right, but that took him all that long, 35 years. But if we move the interest rate to 12%, in that same amount of time, you have $640,000. $600,000 difference. Now that's a lot of money. This guy, just because he didn't know the rules of 72, he missed out. So you see, there's 2 battles we have to win. We have to win the battle of inflation and the battle of taxes. So because this guy didn't know the rule, he missed out on $600,000. That's a lot of retirement money. All right. So, I have a story to tell you. There's a young man that walked in the bank when he was 30 years old and say, I want to be a millionaire by the time I'm 65. How much would I have to put away? Back then, interest rate, you could get 5%. The banker figured it up and said you'd have to have $1,640 a year. He didn't have $1,640. But instead of doing something, he walked out of the bank. He's now working at Walmart. Now he's that nice young kid everybody likes, he's really friendly, but he's 65 years old and he's working at Walmart. Do you want to work at Walmart? Now, I'll tell you, I was in Caldwell, Idaho. Nice, wonderful looking elderly man with white hair. Really looked handsome. It was good color hair. But he reached down on the floor and scraped price tags off the floor. That's not what I want to be doing either. So if we do the law of inflation and get 10% here instead of 5%, this guy would only have to come up with $900 a month. Now, I know a few people that can do this, but not many of us. So, and I'm just in the ballpark here. So if I do the battle of taxes, you may only have $300 or $400 here to get. Now I could probably do $300 or $400, and so could you. You might have to stop spending some money on those frivolous little things, but you could come up with it if you had to. So that really cuts that down. So your question to me is, how do I get those interest rates? My thought to you, it's not having $40,000 or $10,000. It's start doing something now. Let me get straight with you. You gotta learn the concept of the battle of inflation and taxes. And if you don't put it to practice, you'll never get financially secured. You'll never be laying on that beach. You'll never be traveling on a cruise, because you won't be able to afford it because you didn't learn the law. Put it to practice. Yeah. All right. You're asking, where do you get those interest rates? Well, there's 2 or 3 places that you can get interest rate. You go to the banks. You can get CDs, bonds. They're fairly secure. You don't lose money there. But you only get 2 to 3%. You haven't learned the rule of inflation that way, have you? Okay? So we go over here. We have the stock market. And you get bonds, mutual funds, stocks. But with this side, It goes up and down and up and down, and you may lose money and you may not. Over here, you have the S&P and index. The wonderful thing about this one is you don't lose your principal and you don't lose your interest. All right, so where would you like to put your money? And the last 25 years, it's been at 10%. Average 10%. So you want your money here? All right, that seems to be becoming a favorite. And let me show you why. All right, you had $10,000 the first year. It made 10%. So you have 11,000. And then next year you have 12,100. All right, and then up here the market tanks 20%. If you were in the market, you would be 9,600. But you're in this plan where we lock it in and you go across this way. Then a couple of years later it goes up 15%, but you're capped at 12. So yours goes up to here. You know, this is a cap, and the insurance companies get the difference, but would you rather be here or here? Okay. So if you were to stay here along this line for 5 years, they would give you 2% income for every year you were here. Okay? So that's the index fund. Now, I need to tell you something. I need to tell you how I get paid. Now, when I come back with this all bundled together for you, you need to bring me hot chocolate chip cookies fresh out of the oven with a cold glass of milk. I'm kidding. You were so serious I had to say something. So, actually, what happens, how I get paid, is that whatever company you choose to work with, I get a referral free fund. Or you could call it a commission. But that's what I get. You don't pay me nothing. They do. So if you put $10,000 in this, $10,000 goes to work for you right now. You put $100, $100 a month goes to work for you right now. I don't get that. So I have one more item I want to talk to you about. And that is step 6, and that is an estate. You need a will, and so your money doesn't go through probate, and that, you know, whoever gets your train or your old-fashioned car, it's all spelled out so nobody runs off. So, just so that you know that. All right. Now what happens is that if this is something you're interested in all those that I get, out of those 7 that I give you, which one is most important to you? Financial freedom and emergency fund. All right. So how much do you think you can put into financial freedom? $200 a month, okay. And emergency fund, $100, okay. So now I fill out a special needs analysis. I want your short-term dreams, your long-term dreams. There are 3 or 4 questions that are yes or no. They can't be maybe. This needs to be as close as we can get it, so that because you're serious about this, I want to be serious. And I want to bring something that will fit your need and get you there as soon as we can get there. All right, so we're going to fill out this form. You're still dreaming now, aren't you, Ariel? All right, Ariel, if I am to, if I put this together and meet your needs and your goals, and you feel comfortable with it, Are you willing to do business with me? And how soon? Do you want to start today or next month or 6 months from now? Today. All right. Let me ask you one more question, Ariel. Is tomorrow at 2 free for your calendar to come back together? Okay. All right. Now, if I get you everything you need and you're up happy with it, would you be able to give me a list of 2 or 3 of your friends that you think you need the same thing? All right. Thank you.